Divinity Lost explores mature and often graphic themes, including extreme violence, gore, drugs, sexuality, mental illness, difficult social and political themes, and human suffering. Some viewers, okay, a whole lot of viewers may find this content disturbing. Since we're not able to honor an X card on pre-recorded content, viewer discretion is strongly advised. We have a ton of content on our channel for those with less extreme tastes, so if this kind of horror isn't for you, please browse our other games.
And this isn't really about what you can see, which is why I've asked you to close your eyes. Before the light finds you, there's only touch. Fingernails dragging slow across stippled skin. The hush of a breath held too long as lips graze. Fingers intertwine. Movement with a reverence that borders on obscene, not hurried, not hesitant. The anticipation is like a thirst. It's a hunger. Heat blooming low in your chest, in your groin. You smell her. Then, in a razor-thin moment, your thoughts melt like film against a light bulb into the harsh clack of a wall switch and the stutter of fluorescent lights reflecting against pale tile. 1, 2, 3 rows until the room is lit. Dr. Lionel Hurst, it is 11 o'clock p.m., Friday, October 9th, 2015. We find you at work. The medical examiner's office in Cumberland, Rhode Island. There are footsteps. There's the jingle of keys. But first, doctor, tell me about the body that lies in front of you. Tell me, who was she?
In front of me lies the body of a 14-year-old girl. She is in a state of significant disrepair. During the car crash that ended her life, her feet were positioned on the dashboard in front of her. The wreck that resulted in her death appears to have been at approximately 55 miles per hour. Her joints were severed at the ankles in such a way as to not be conducive to life. However, she's still beautiful even in this state. Her mouth slightly open in a look of shock, surprise. She didn't last very long before death claimed her.
Incredible. So here you stand before this waxy corpse. It's been long enough, of course, that the blood is coagulated and the legs are situated at awkward angles, kind of back with the body. I would ask, though, why would Dr. Yates be surprised to find you here as you hear her voice? Oh, Lionel! You're there. She's behind you, around the corner. You know the layout of the morgue well enough to know she's probably out by the counter. At this point, you have time. What do you do?
I go ahead and quickly draw the white sheet back over the body in a meticulous practice fashion. I turn with my hands behind my back.
Nice. So you turn, yeah. So she's coming around the corner and she has her laptop and some file folders, the green kind that hang right there in her arm. She's kind of cradling it like books, right back in the day at school. And she rounds the corner. She says, looks around. Are you okay? She says.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm just merely wrapping up for the evening. Oh, look at the time.
Oh, look at the time, indeed. I saw your car out front, but I didn't think you'd be sitting here in the dark. Are you sure you're okay?
Oh, I just had a few last-minute reports to finish up. And then I was looking to go back home and rest.
So,
Are
Dr.
you
Brenda Yates,
doing well?
we'll see up there. She says, yeah, I'm fine. I just, Friday and all, I just figured I'd take home some work over the weekend. The kids are with their grandparents, and she's giving you this odd look. I would love it if you would do something for me, though. We need to roll for your disadvantage.
So I will go ahead and choose which one. Because I have two.
You do.
Let's do this one.
So guys out there in Streamland, at the beginning of each session, certain disadvantages ask you to roll those. Nice. So you manage to calm yourself to some degree, but you notice that Brenda is looking at you kind of oddly, but she's not looking at your upper body. She's looking at your gray trousers. There's a wet spot there. She kind of glances at it quickly enough, right, that you don't know that she's really kind of fixated on it, but she definitely noticed. She starts to turn away, kind of disgusted maybe.
So I linger looking at making eye contact, almost like a hawk, staring at a type of prey, just intently, unblinking, almost as though I'm daring her to make a comment.
Yeah, I like that. Give me an influence other. Let's have that. See if you can kind of intimidate her into leaving you alone.
There we go.
Ooh, nice. Okay, so you say that, and you kind of give her this longer look. Why isn't she buying it? What do you think?
She's noticed my fixation on certain bodies, specifically of the female variety.
Yeah.
And seems to have taken an interest in trying to note my movements whenever a younger female cadaver it comes in. I fear that she may one day report me, and I may have to take measures to prevent it. She's getting more brazen by the day.
I love it. So she kind of stares you down, and there's this moment of quiet understanding. She doesn't know exactly what to say, but she knows what she's assumed of the situation. She cradles her things in her arm, of course, and she kind of gives you one sideward glance over her shoulder. All right, then.
Shouldn't you be getting back to your children?
Of course. I hope you have a great weekend.
You as well.
She turns and walks away, and almost at that very moment, Lionel, you feel there's a vibration in your front pocket, and it kind of catches you a little off guard, and then the ringtone comes in. It's not a known caller, none of your rings that you've associated, at least. It's a number you don't recognize.
I'll go ahead and answer it. Dr. Hurst.
This is Dr. Lionel Hurst. Oh, geez, hang on 2 seconds. Equipment being really bizarre. Yeah. Sorry. It's like doing terrible things to me right now. Okay, there we go. Dr. Hurst? This is Special Agent. This is Special Agent Cole, the Federal Bureau of Investigations. Hey, sorry to call so late. Could you spare me just a couple of minutes?
What did you say your name was again?
Special Agent Tanner Cole.
Tanner
Special
Cole.
Agent Cole, if you prefer. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course, I'm always free to assist an agent. But what's the nature of the emergency?
So there's a pause. Well, first, I received your information from Agent Wilkes. I guess you did some work for him back on that freedom fighter case. Hey, This may not make any sense, but so I'm following up on the incident involving the death of a woman named Mildred Sellers from Bell Ridge. There've been some complications with the investigation, including the handling of the autopsy. Look, it's hard to describe over the phone. I'm wondering if it'd be possible, maybe for you to join me over here in Warwick and give me your professional opinion.
I'd be willing to do so, but you know my consultation rate does not come particularly cheap.
Yeah, well, I think you'll understand when you get here that it's worth the expense. This is a weird one.
All right, you've intrigued me enough to bring me out there. I'll be there as soon as I possibly can.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll send a car for you first thing in the morning. You know, Warwick's only about 27 miles away. So, what do you say, 9 a.m.? That's
perfect. My address is 214.
We have your
Forker.
Address. Thank you.
Of course you would. I look forward to working with you.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks so much. And again, I'm really sorry for calling so late, but circumstances being what they are, we need your help.
Well, happy to be of service.
Excellent.
Then I immediately hang up.
Yeah, so you hang up and your hand's kind of shaking a little bit, right? Like how's Dr. Hurst feeling?
An odd case. My bread and butter. Something that's beyond the pale, an accident, or even perhaps and I do feel a certain amount of arousal rising up as I consider the idea of a brutal murder.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And you know, the more the pangs of suffering related to it, the more interested and excited I become.
Lovely.
And so the second you said odd, I was like, interesting. Most likely some sort of murderer.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So you know what's crazy though, Lionel? Now that it's quiet down here again, you can smell her. She's so close. She's right behind you. What are you doing? You just realized that you've reached back and you're holding her hand. This is going to get you caught one day, man.
I just kind of smile, my kind of secret smile to myself.
Yeah.
As I just kind of look down and just bend down and start to kiss her fingers. Oh. And there's something about her hands that despite the accident, they are pristine.
Yeah.
In this wreck of a body, destroyed, dismembered, the look of shock on her face. How is it that her hands are still so perfect?
Yeah.
I simply must have them for my collection.
Do you take them?
Yes.
Yeah.
I work as quickly and precisely as I can to take the left hand.
Nice. Give me a let's hold observe a situation. Let me see if you realize something. You as a player very well may.
Okay.
Damn it. I need more windows. What'd you get? Sorry.
All right, so I got an 11. So on a success, you may ask the GM questions about the current situation.
Yeah. So you're going to need to falsify some records if you're going to take these hands.
As I'm halfway through cutting with the bone saw. Okay. Hand was sheared off from the body by the glass of the windshield. was not recovered on site. Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm presuming I have a computer down here.
Of course. Well, I think, you've got a little office down here, or, where you do most of your final reports and things like that. You got a little guest chair. It's certainly nothing fancy, but it's nicer than a county place.
So while the idea is still in my head, I will go ahead and get onto my computer with the half-finished report. I've been very distracted with this one, and I keep getting distracted, if you will, going back and forth with the body. I make sure that I add that excerpt about the left hand being severed at the wrist, substantively by the wind pane of the front glass of the windshield, and it was not recovered after the accident.
Yeah, so you post that in there. You do your electronic signature. You're pretty sure you've covered your tracks. You're just about to close out that application, sort of the state system for tracking this stuff. And that notepad file on your desktop there just has 2 question marks for a name. And you open it up. There's 16 women on that list. And the last one is your car crash victim. Happened just before you got the opportunity to say hello. Now you're empty. Something's got to fill that space. Soon. What do you do, Doctor?
I realize that I have to feed Marion. She's been down there all day, and she hasn't eaten anything since breakfast. So I close my laptop.
Okay.
And I go and finish my work with my darling on the table, sawing through her hand at the sound of the now mostly clotted blood still releasing some liquid onto the table,
like,
and some of it splashing onto the floor.
Right, it's like cold ham.
Not just that, it's the smell. That coppery smell with just the beginning scent of just a little putrescence.
Yeah.
That really makes it worth it. I remove the hand and I wrap it lovingly in some sterile gauze.
Nice. Slide it into your attaché case. Carry it out.
It's time to go home and take care of my girl.
Understood. So you walk out, closing the door behind you and noticing, of course, that your colleague left the light on for you, almost to make a point. You make your way up the elevator to the ground floor, out the lobby. James, the security guard, looks at you. Oh, good evening, Doc.
Good evening to you as well, James.
Yeah, you got to stop working so late, especially on a Friday.
Well, I don't have much to go home to, and our work we do here is very important.
Shit. You know what? One of these nights, you're going to come out with me and the boys. We're going to tie one on. I'll show you how it's done. You can't be all alone, man. It's not good for your mental state, especially what you do for a living.
Oh, I'm never completely alone. As I've told others, the dead speak.
Yeah, well, right. And God be with you. And he just shuts up at this point and kind of goes back to his computer monitor of cameras. Interestingly enough, the cameras in the morgue haven't been working for a long time, have they, Doctor?
And it's a shame they keep breaking down,
Isn't it?
Unfortunately. Faulty wiring, rats get at the wires.
Yeah. So you make your way home. So Dr. Hurst lives in an old Victorian house in the okay-to-do part of town. And I'm trying to move the view to that so you can see it. There we go. It is the quintessential hell house for some. It's a family estate, or what should have been a family estate for Dr. Hurst. But tell me really, why do you stay here in this place?
I stay here because of the history.
Yeah.
My parents, well, I grew up here and only child, and I never really saw much of a reason to leave.
You didn't see much of the outside either, did you?
No, my parents were, especially my mother, was extremely protective of me. Said that I didn't need to be influenced by those sinners out there, those wayward children who tried to steer people astray.
It wasn't just the kids. You tell yourself that constantly. Let's get to the point on your drive home at this fucking red light. What did she do to the cat, Doctor? What did she do to the goddamn cat?
Well, I was misbehaving, and of course, I had to be corrected. And so the garbage disposal was exactly... And
could have been head first. It could have been head first. But it wasn't, was it? Because she wanted you to hear it scream. She wanted you to fucking hear it scream.
But at the time, I had no idea the gift she was giving me, because getting attached to things like that is, you know, and when you're bad, you deserve to be punished. Of course, everyone knows that. So she was helping me.
Oh, she was helping you. All right. Yeah, she was helping you just like you help them.
There's so many broken people out there. They can find purpose in my archives. This damn red light.
Yeah. You realize as you're thinking that, you hear a horn, beep. You know, you're kind of looking back and you realize, oh, these other cars in this other lane, 2 or 3 of them have gone. I've been sitting here for a long time. What an asshole I am. You head home. Let yourself in. Tell me, Doctor, what does the camera see inside? Where does it follow you to? What's your ritual when you walk through the door?
So my ritual is the same as it always is. I hang up my coat on a large wooden coat rack right inside. I extricate my keys from my pocket in one smooth motion and put them in a bowl. That's where I always put them.
What's in there with them?
There is there is some rosary beads in there. Ones I was given during my catechism.
Do you keep them for irony's sake? Is that what you do?
I keep them because my mother would want me to keep them.
Your mother would want a lot of things.
She knew a lot of things. And so I run my hand across them somewhat absent-mindedly, but I pause a little longer today because I guess I was just thinking of her. I find that my thoughts of her have been more present lately, especially after my diagnosis. It's hard not to reflect upon the past when you know you don't have much of a future to look forward to.
So in the mirror, you glance up. In a way, you're almost expecting to see her face there. sitting at her chair watching TV as she does. The TV's loud just like it was toward the end of her life because she couldn't hear. Why is it so loud in here now, doctor? Why can't you turn it the fuck down so that the neighbors don't have to listen to the news?
It's part habit, but also simple misdirection. Sound tends to carry, and people who are constantly hearing the same noise, they can tune out other sounds. For example, the sounds of someone being able to slip a gag and be heard yelling for help from my archives.
So smart. So smart. The image on the news catches your attention. You can't, in your haze in this moment, you're mid-story. And ironically, it's something about this thing that's happened in Bell Ridge, far enough along in the conversation that you don't really get the context of the story, other than the fact that there's this absolutely beautiful young police officer. She's gorgeous. Talks about her and the fact that she's been suspended from the force after killing this woman, perhaps in the line of duty, this Mildred Sellers. And you see her face as you see so many others. It's going on the screen now. Sorry. Wish there were like macros for this. These innocent eyes, that kind of cherry red hair, but there's a sharpness underneath. You are captivated in a way that tells you what comes next.
I almost breathe a sigh of relief as I'm like, that's her. I say to the air, she's my next one. Maybe she's the only one. the only one for me. Maybe she's the one who's going to understand.
And as you're thinking this, suddenly the news story changes to this commercial. It's a local family entertainment center with ball pits and other things. It's loud and flashy, and you're still stuck there in the moment, and almost the ghost of her image is superimposed in all that chaos. And you can hear a whimper. Speaking of slipped gags, speaking of people that are too loud, you can hear that girl whimpering.
Oh, hi. Oh, yes. I apologize, Marion. I know I'm quite late. I'll be right there with your food.
So you go into the kitchen, and what do you prepare?
So I have many cans of cat food. And so
oh my God, that's so
go
perfect.
ahead and in the same routine I do every single night, I take my circular cans of cat food, precisely 4, because 4 is a number of completion, as everyone knows. And I go ahead and I put them in, I use my hand can opener just as my mother used to do. I could buy an electric one, but there's something about this ritual that feels comforting as I open up each can in turn. And I lay them out in front of me, 4 by 4 by 4. 4 cans, 4 lids. And of course, and of course, a large spoon to scrape them out into.
Nice.
I have the bowl from this morning, and I scoop it into the bowl, each can.
So you scoop that in there with ritual and mix it all together. And this reminds you of that day when you were feeding that damn cat. It was an extra can of food, wasn't it, Doctor? It was the 4th can of food. And your mom didn't have the money to go get any more. Oh.
she always said that I couldn't be wasteful.
Yeah.
And I had to make something of myself. But I overstepped, and the cat was hungry, so I figured it could benefit from that fourth can.
Yeah.
So,
and I think as you scoop it into the bowl, and then naturally you take the soiled spoon and put it in the sink, it lands right next to that garbage disposal. And it's almost like you can hear those shrieks of that little cat being fed to that fucking machine so slow while you watched. But then, well, Marion.
She needs me.
She does.
Has she been good or bad lately? I can't remember.
Why don't we have an influence other roll to see just how well you've taught her? She's been quite good. She's a little on the thin side. You know, you've been trying to make sure that she gets enough, but the rules are the rules. It's 4 at a time. And she eats. You can see the old, refuse from her meals, the cat food, and God only knows what else under her nails. She's thin, waif thin. Maybe 24, this one. Why Marion? What was it about her that the archive called for?
Well, originally, I noticed a unique scar above her collarbone. From perhaps a bike accident. Fell out of a tree as a child. It piqued my interest. It was then the way she walked. A determination, not defeated by the world. It reminded me of some who came before. Well,
she's been here a long time. She's thin. She's chained up behind your secret door. The good news is your doctor's salary, and especially some of the money that's funneled from the FBI to you on special cases, ironically, has helped you build quite a chamber. A metal bed, sink, all of the instruments that you'll need. And just off from that, Marion sits. She obviously hears you coming down. She gets very quiet. You can hear as she bites her bottom lip to try not to exclaim, "You smell urine. Smell shit." What do you do?
I see we messed ourselves. Well, we can't have that.
Her face is slack with shock. There is no emotion left there. Her eyes are blank. But her jaw quivers. She's afraid. Very afraid.
Now. Nothing to worry about. Would you like to eat while I'll go ahead and clean you off?
She nods and shakes her head no, and then she just kind of acquiesces, and she would talk. Why wouldn't she say anything back to you, Doctor? What procedures have been done?
So after the first month, I was having a rough day. The other doctor had been observing me. I felt her eyes upon me. And I came down, and Marion, with that defiant look in her eyes, said to me, she called me a monster.
You're no monster.
So I had no other choice but to remove her tongue. I did it humanely, of course.
Sedation?
Of course. I don't ever mean to hurt them.
Yeah.
And after that, I found that our relationship improved greatly.
Of course it did. They always do toward the end as well. When you get your, just before you get your next name, it's almost as if they know release is coming.
I recognize my error at this time. It's time to say goodbye, and previous guests, I would typically mix in some crushed up sedatives in their meal, but in my distraction I forgot.
What are you gonna do?
I'm going to have to give her an injection of a sedative to allow her some peace while I end things.
She's so weak from all of this time here. Her muscles in many ways have atrophied, and it's almost as if, just like the rest, as they go to sleep, they find their peace, just like your mom did that night.
Marion's been here for so long, I thought this time would never come. I started to consider if there wouldn't be another. But now I know that I can give her a soft goodbye and allow her to pass on. As she's eating, I go to make for the corner where there's cleaning supplies. Again, in a very familiar ritual, I put on my large rubber gloves. And in this case, I go over to a side area and I'm going to go ahead and prepare a sedative from a doctor's bag. And she's, of course, chained to the floor. She could never reach this far, although some have tried.
Flick the syringe. There's something beautiful about that little bead of clear liquid on the end of the sharp. It brings back so many memories. They all just trickle down. It's like that tear that a lot of them have before the lights go out.
I like to think they're thanking me for helping them, for the lessons I've given them.
So Dr. Lionel Hurst, does Renee thank you? Or I'm sorry, Marion, when I say Renee. Does Renee thank you tonight?
She does. As I approach her from behind, and, she's still eating, probably almost done by now. I have the syringe at the bottom of the bucket, and I set the bucket down. I'm holding a sponge in my other hand. So, yet another one of our rituals. I make to grab her head and steady it, because I do like to touch her hair. But however, instead of doing some grooming and combing her hair, I quickly inject her with the needle in her neck.
She turns. You can see the stub of her tongue flapping around as she kind of... And then, obviously, the sweet bliss of sedation overcomes her. She slumps into your arms.
And so I just stare for a brief moment at the shocked look, and then I see it. I see the peace. It kind of comes over her. True rest. It's as though her soul's already departed and it knows what's coming. I just need to release it, like a butterfly from its cocoon. I remember as a child finding the moths in the old garden. I would sneak out there and I would see them in their cocoons, and I would try to help them emerge, but I was just far too rough. And then they wouldn't emerge correctly. They'd have broken wings. And that's always stuck with me, is that I've learned how to release them as butterflies without breaking their wings. They can fly to a better place.
And fly she does. She doesn't scream because she can't. But there's this sort of slight whimper of someone who's in deep sedation, involuntarily sort of realizing that their life is coming to an end. So we change scenes to the froth of a toothbrush. I think there's music in the background. Doctor, what's the song?
It's California Dreaming.
Yes. California Dreaming is playing, and you're there, and you're in your undershirt, your sleeveless undershirt, getting dressed for the morning. You've got a short amount of time to go. Answer me one question. What part did you keep?
Her left hand, of course. It reminds me of the only woman I've ever loved. My first, the girl next door. And I make sure that I preserve it as meticulously as I do all the other parts. Filling up a container with formaldehyde, marking it with her initials, and putting it lovingly with the rest.
And so you do. So you've put everything away, and of course this morning you couldn't dare touch those things. Sometimes the archive has a smell that clings to you. So there's a very special ritual for visiting and of course concluding a visit. Besides, you see a car that has pulled up just a couple of minutes early. It's an interesting vehicle, very large SUV, maybe a Yukon or something of the sort, blacked out windows, no real markings, just kind of pulls up and stops in front of your sidewalk.
As I peek out of the bathroom, I turn off the music and I consider for a moment, should I invite him in? There's something tantalizing about the idea of having someone so close.
Maybe. He did say he would send a car for you, so this is a driver. You could flirt with that. How close to the fire could it be? Really?
Then I do dismiss the idea. It's far too risky, and I do need to find my next butterfly, of course.
Of course.
So I do make the car wait as I finish my entire routine, which takes about 10 more minutes.
Nice.
So
it's the tie, right? It's that tie and getting it absolutely perfect.
The symmetry of it.
Yeah. The pocket square with 4 points. 4 being a number of completion. Nice. So you walk out of your house, locking the door behind you as you do, with your briefcase, laptop, and those sorts of things, pretty much all your doctory kind of equipment. And you approach. As you do so, the driver in the front gets out. He's dressed in a suit. He's a younger guy, maybe 27. He's got some acne scars on his face, but otherwise he's pretty handsome, dark complected, kind of stubbly, facial hair. He opens the side door and lets you in. Morning, Doctor.
Thank you. Dr. Hurst. A pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Yeah. Agent Smith. I'm your driver. So,
Smith, like in a movie. Very funny.
Well, like the Smiths. My mom was a Smith.
Oh, I see.
My dad's a Smith. He kind of glances up in the rearview mirror at you. I think the camera sees kind of an awkward, weird sort of angle of you back there as you try to kind of bolt back into reality. You're still on the high from last night.
I force a laugh. I see. So you really are a Smith. That's fantastic.
So he's basically he is on his way now out of the county, or I'm sorry, across the county, to the Warwick. Well, I guess it'd be the. Oh, geez, hang on. Let me look at my notes. Kent County Coroner. You'd be headed there. What do you do for the drive? It's kind of unremarkable. Rhode Island's a nice small place. Lots of kind of small, cute houses. A lot of sort of old houses turned into businesses.
So I'm not much for playing on my phone or doing anything of that sort. What I do in the few occasions I have the opportunity to be a passenger in a vehicle is I watch the people. The ebb and flow of the chattel out there, living their boring little lives, doing the same mundane, pointless things day by day. And I swell with a certain pride that I have purpose and I have a mission that I'm here to do.
So you're
that
smiling.
I'm not like them.
And you're kind of looking for, this window and that window, and you notice that Smith is kind of glancing up every now and again as if he senses something about maybe your pleasure or your amusement with the thoughts running through your head. So you really write books about murders and stuff? He says.
Oh, yes, I'm published. I'm intrigued by both the psychopathy of the serial murderer and, of course, on the dichotomy around crime scene investigation and empathy with the killer. If you can place yourself in the mindset of a killer, you can recreate a crime scene. It's all about perspective, really.
Doc, I'm glad you're on our side because you just gave me the goosebumps with that nonsense. No, folks back at HQ were talking about you and saying there's not a murder you can't solve. Hope that's true, he says.
Oh, I've had my own significant measure of luck, of course, but once you learn how to take the perspective of a killer, then it actually becomes, well, as Sherlock Holmes would say, elementary.
Oh, yeah. I tell you what, if it comes that easy to you, that good for you, man. Hopefully you'll solve this and get us on out of here. He turns on the interstate, kind of heads off.
Well, perhaps if you're interested in learning, I do have a lecture series.
So you give him you give him your YouTube channel name or whatever for all your crazy lectures. This is 2015 after all. You're YouTube famous. So the drive goes more or less without event, right? You're looking out the window, kind of looking at the distant barns and things like that, kind of out on the countryside, some pretty trees. This time of year especially, right? The fall colors are out. Everything's got a bit of a grim cast to it, though. Always does for you. You arrive at the coroner's office. The car pulls up. Doesn't really park so much as comes through the drive-through area, like where you might, wheel in bodies or whatever. Yes, Agent Cole's going to be inside. He gets out, opens the door for you, of course. Just in there. You check in with the reception. They'll get you connected.
Perfect. Agent Smith?
Yeah, Agent
Good
Smith.
luck.
Just like the movies, he kind of smiles. You step in.
Good luck.
There's, it's kind of an older building, right? A lot of buildings in this area are. There's this fine wooden desk, and this person who looks like she was there when the building was built. She looks up with this kind of severe expression. It's like she's seen it all, smelled it all. The tears and the suffering and the loss. The reality of mankind, really. You approach. Morning. How can I help you?
Dr. Hurst, I believe I have an appointment.
An appointment, Dr. Hurst. She's looking, and you see this sort of sticky note with your name written on it hastily. Not very precise handwriting, you notice. But yeah, so she looks, and Hurst, right. Let me get it. You're here to speak with the authorities, yes? She says.
Correct.
All right, good. I tell you what, I'll come around and let you in. She walks out the doors there behind the desk, comes around to a wooden door that's just to the left of that chair. It opens. Right this way.
Oh. So I'll go ahead and walk through, even sort of brushing past her just a little too close.
Yeah, so she's got that grandmotherly smell. It reminds you of Christmas, actually, a little bit. It's kind of a good feeling. One of the few that you get. And she kind of walks along. She's wearing those sort of tall, church-esque shoes, closed-toed. Nice dress, but very drab colors. She kind of walks a little slower than you'd like, but ultimately she takes you to an office and knocks on the door. Here, there is a very severe-looking man. He's a good bit taller than you are. Looks maybe like he should be in a movie playing an agent. He's got an earpiece which flaps over his shoulder. Doesn't have it in his ear. Obviously armed with as he stands and then kind of to address you. Oh, doctor, how are you?
I'm doing quite well, thank you.
Oh, good to meet you. I'm Agent Cole. Thank you for coming. Have a seat.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and take a seat, and it's like I saw a little bit about this case on the news.
Huh. Already a step ahead of me, are you? You notice there's a file folder on the table. Jane, could you get the two of us a cup of that coffee? It sure was good. She looks, and for the first time, she cracks a slight smile. This guy's handsome. I mean, he's just handsome. He's like Tom Cruise kind of handsome. But a little older. She walks away, intending to get you some coffee. He throws a file in front of you. So, I'm gonna need your help.
So, where are you finding barriers? I say as I very slowly start to leaf through the file.
Well, let's start with this. Just a little while ago, we had a situation with a well check. Looks like a woman in her early 80s. Neighbors were concerned, called the local cops in Bell Ridge. Happens to be this kid's first night on the force. They go visit. Report says they let the dog out. Nobody's found the dog. Obviously, that's not why we're here, so they go in. This is where things get crazy. We have no body camera footage, despite the fact that the body cameras were active. What we do know is that we wound up with a victim, Mildred Sellers. She's apparently killed by taser. Best we assumed at the time, paramedics responding felt that perhaps she had a heart attack on the scene, perhaps suffering from significant dementia. So
I'm presuming this young officer did not turn off his body cam and tase this poor woman to death.
Weird.
Not trying to be presumptuous, but it does seem like an odd turn of events for a body cam to be turned off.
This is where things get concerning, and right about that time, the door kind of opens, and you notice he stops, and he's literally like kind of choking on his words, like he doesn't want this to be heard. She comes in, 2 mismatched logo cups. One of them's got stains from years of use, kind of thing. Hands you each a cup of coffee. Sorry, we don't have any cream, or I would have asked, she says.
Oh, it's perfectly fine.
It's delicious. It's the stuff that keeps us all going, isn't it? She just kind of smirks and walks out.
Agent, I think she likes you.
Huh. Yeah, she's a sweet woman. She's been through a lot in the last week or so.
Oh, I see.
So, point is, we got a dead body. One body cam that was running was covered in some sort of vomit, something like that. She was having maybe significant reflux and vomited on a Sergeant Bill Dawkins. Body camera obscuring the view. There is audio, however. Or there should be audio, but the memory card from the camera is missing.
I just seem to granted him slightly. It's not making a very good case for these officers now. Is this not that? It's like I have a very positive relationship with the police force. If you're looking someone to add credibility to a uncomfortable situation involving officers who overstepped, I don't mind being of assistance in that matter.
If it were only that simple. Let me tell you the rest, because this is actually where it gets pretty fucked up. So there was this blogger, Quentin Phillips. Apparently he was contracted or volunteered or something to document this whole first night out. Apparently this kid was, it's kind of her first night on the force, sort of a big deal. Son of a cop. City council was going to put it up on the website, make a big deal about it, right?
Right. Free publicity, basically.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on right now, but suffice it to say that at the end of this story you're going to hear, Mr. Phillips couldn't produce any usable footage beyond some really grainy footage of the dog. So that's all under investigation, but that's really not why you're here. You're here because we brought the body in, obviously, to determine the cause of death, and unfortunately there was a horrible mishap during the first attempted autopsy, resulting in the death of the medical attendant. He pauses to get your reaction.
A cadaver, an incident involving the cadaver, or misuse of equipment related to parts of the autopsy. I mean, I suppose it's possible equipment could malfunction.
No, it wasn't that. So what happened is we received local law enforcement received a call that the coroner here had an episode. Took his own life with a bone saw. Drilled straight into his throat and carved out most of his larynx, along with the necessary arteries to keep you alive, bled out in the autopsy room. Apparently having, well, here, let me get this. And he pulls this transcript out, which I can show to players real quick.
A rather horrific way of committing suicide.
Tell me about it. So basically what we have is a transcript. It's a voice note transcript that apparently the voice recorder the audio was severely degraded. So they've assembled what they could. This is a paraphrasing, of course, of a full autopsy report. And Andy, though I know you would get this historically correct, I will not. So just know that I see you. So basically, voice note, Dr. Nicholas Fitzpatrick, Belridge County Coroner's Office. It says transcription as audio is degraded by intermittent static. Autopsy report for Sellers Mildred. Time of examination 8:12 a.m. Subject is female, age 86. Reported time of death. I'm sorry, that's a misprint. Tuesday, October 2nd, 10:47 p.m. Signs of chronic, lots of static, lots of noise. Dementia noted in prior records. Beginning external examination now. So the first bit of it is kind of interesting to you, Doctor. It calls out that the state of decomposition is inconsistent with the stated time of death, suggesting accelerated decay process. Multiple teeth are missing, some of which are, and I can't read that. No, there we go. That's better. Some appear post-mortem, but others show evidence of prior loss. Scrapes and bruising along the arms, legs, and lower back, likely sustained within the final 48 hours. Advanced signs of malnutrition, severe muscle wasting, and visible rib contour beneath the dermis. There are marks on the right temple and the lateral neck, symmetrical patterned abrasions consistent with contacting points from conducted energy device, such as a taser. So sure, cause of death so far, you're on board. Proceeding with incision, he said. Initial cavity appears, the static gets worse. Typical heart is shrunken, consistent with age and possible ischemic history, but hold on. Your interest is piqued. There's something along the inner thoracic wall. Black matter, not clotted blood, not necrotic tissue. It's like plaque, but static spikes hard. It's moving, fading, coming back, fading again. I can't see the ribs behind it. Then I can't. It's like not completely there. No way this is calcification. It's phasing. It's distortion. The audio ends abruptly with the sound of an oscillating saw and unintelligible room noise, according to this report. He watches your expression as you read over this thing, and then...
So I do get noticeably, like I actually lean in closer. At first, I'm rather bored with this routine report, but as I lean in and see my lips moving as I almost seem to be like reading it out loud to myself, I look up. It's like, he had no signs of behavioral instability or mental health. This medical examiner, I'm presuming.
No, none reported. Pretty clean. He's worked here forever. His work is generally acceptable. No known substance abuse history, no issues whatsoever. Here's the worst part. And he basically hits play on the monitor there on the computer.
Where's the cadaver? I kind of interrupt as he's getting ready to hit play.
He kind of looks over his shoulder. You are an eager one, aren't you? I can have my men pull it out of the freezer for you. You're going to want to have a look at it, for sure. But this might give you a little more context.
Of course, yes.
So he plays this video. It's grainy security footage, as you can imagine, kind of looking over this autopsy room. And just as he said, you can almost match the transcript to the movements in the mouth, although it is pretty grainy. He's casually doing his work, as you will, looking over the body and whatever. He goes to make the incision and suddenly starts reacting to something, and he's looking all around. He's looking at the body, he's looking up, and then suddenly grabs the bone saw. The details that's missing is that he basically starts ranting and starts carving the cadaver's head off with the bone saw. As the head rolls off, he pauses, takes 2 steps towards the camera, which is glitching a little, and takes his own life right there with the bone saw. And falls. You see this unfold before your eyes. It's almost hard to believe. The agent turns to look at you.
I almost kind of lick my lips, having my intellectual curiosity piqued at this level has not happened in more than 15 years. And I just say, the level of will to do that to oneself is uncommon.
Psychotic
You would
break?
have to be either incredible acute substance abuse and we're talking significant substances,
Toxicology reports on his body are clean.
or a psychotic break.
Yeah.
Or something we've never encountered before.
Maybe.
Is
That's
the
what
only
I'm
other
hoping you can
option.
help with. You want to have a look?
Do we have face protection? For example, was he wearing a mask during the autopsy, or just like a
He was just
normal,
wearing like a normal surgical mask, yeah.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, he wears a face shield, right? Because it kind of gets gross sometimes when you get the saw going. So he was wearing like normal PPI kind of thing.
Did anyone else come into contact with the cadaver and have odd after effects?
No,
other than him?
It's a good point. We've pulled a lot of lists. Things are okay. Security logs, officers at the scene. There is one anomaly, which is the Sergeant Dawkins, who was taken from the scene in an ambulance on the edge of death. We started the report suggests that he started a recovery, but started to exhibit some strange behaviors, animalistic behaviors, incontinence.
I see.
Yeah. I can get you that report.
So the medical examiner is not the only one who exhibited odd behaviors. Has the officer tried to harm himself?
Well,
or just animalistic?
Well, the officer's currently at some hospital, which I should know, but I wrote down. So he's like, let me look at the paperwork. Oh, God. I'm at the hospital. I'll tell you in a second. It's all the little things. It's Butler Hospital, sorry.
Butler Hospital.
Yeah. Which is obviously a mental hospital. And you'll be aware of this, obviously, being kind of from the Providence and Warwick area.
Well, we can put these pieces together. Let us start with the cadaver, and we'll limit contact and use the maximum amount of protective equipment that we can manage around the cadaver.
Yeah, give me
but I'm ready to proceed when you are.
Excellent. Give me a observe the situation check real quick. Does Hurst giggle? Probably so. Yeah. Okay. So I'll let you ask 2 questions about this statement. Were it you, I mean, you're a doctor, right? You deal with lots of things, and especially given your specialty, you're well aware of how you conduct yourself if there could be a pathogen involved, something that could be easily communicated. And none of that's in place here, at least not to the extent that you would expect.
So 2 questions. My first one is, what should I be on the lookout for?
Something's eating at you, and that is that this Cole guy, I mean, he didn't really show you any identification. That's weird. When you're thinking about it, you're sort of glancing out the window, and you do see actually out there on the edge of the property. You kind of strain your eyes a little, right? It's a couple guys in camo. And maybe gas masks? How'd you miss those on the way in? That's odd.
I kind of make note of it and consider my second question. What currently poses the biggest threat?
At this moment, you feel like you need to play along with whatever comes up because you're really close to the fire right now. You could reveal lots about yourself. Your scientific curiosity is just on fire. So you just have to keep in mind this place is well surveilled. It's going to be hard when you walk in there with her. You're going to have to keep it together.
I do kind of dreamily kind of think of her for a moment. Her picture and what she'll look like, what she'll smell like when I finally meet her in person.
Which her? Are you referring to the new her or to Mildred?
Oh, Mildred's old news.
Wow.
Oh, so you're talking about Marion's old news?
Yeah.
Mildred's new.
Yeah. So,
no, but I'm not talking about the cadaver. I'm talking about.
Okay, Carter. Yeah. So the police officer, Carter Sullivan. Yeah.
But I do have professional curiosity about our cadaver. Agent, I wasn't sure. So what agency do you actually work for? I never really asked for your credentials. I just want to understand, is this all above board?
Above board? What's that supposed to mean? I told you I got your information from Agent Wilkes. You do know Agent Wilkes. He's an FBI agent. You've worked together a bunch of times. Cases, serial killers, crimes of passion, all kinds of different things. Body parts turning up in the swamp in Florida once. Yeah.
All right. Well, I figure that you are probably at least associated with Agent Wilkes, but I am at least professionally curious to understand a little bit more about your credentials, if you don't mind.
Of course. He flashes a badge. He flashes it pretty quickly and with a kind of authority that just sort of pushes you back, if you will, in the room. Do you know what I mean? Just kind of like he casually, like doesn't even think twice. But you notice he pulls it from the pocket that forces him to kind of reveal his weapon. And as he the butt of the handgun is clearly visible, he kind of looks up at you and then pulls his badge out like he struggles a little too long to get it out of the pocket, if you know what I mean. And he holds it up. I've been working for the agency for 10 years now. Just 3 months past my anniversary. Any other questions? You want to know how many kids I got? Got one. He hates me. Ex-wife hates me. Her new husband hates me. Seriously,
there's nothing more important than family, of course. I understand.
Of course not.
It's been a challenge for me ever since my mother died.
Oh yeah, that sucks. You never really get over that. You seem to hit a nerve with him too, and if your read of him is correct, he's kind of a softie a little bit in that way. He understands.
Well, I think that you've piqued my curiosity, and I would be delighted to assist you in this.
Okay. He says, I'm like, alrighty then. So, he picks up the phone. It's one of these phones. It's got kind of a handful of buttons along. It's like a VoIP, like Cisco VoIP phone. He taps a button rings a couple times. A voice comes on speaker. It's a woman's voice. She's very abrupt. She's like, Kurtzwell. And he goes, so yeah, we have the doctor here, and Dr. Hurst. He would like to examine Sellers' corpse. She's like, got it. You gonna suit him up there? Yes, we'll get him equipped before we come down. Okay. You notice her voice is kind of like this a little. Not so muffled, but maybe there's something obstructing her face. And you are taken to a room. Of course, there's PPI there. But it's a little more extreme than the PPI that you would expect the county coroner's office to have.
Well, I would expect if they're concerned about a pathogen that they would not send me in. Yeah. So I actually find it to be a bit of a relief.
Yeah.
That I have it. I do kind of as I'm suiting up. Is the agent with me at the time?
I'm gonna say yeah. He comes to the room with you. There's a dressing room. There's like a plastic barrier there, place for you to scrub up, all that sort of thing. He steps in the doorway. I'm assuming you probably know how to use all this stuff better than I do, Doc. You're gonna get suited up, and the elevator's right there. We'll see you on the other side.
I noticed some individuals out the window as I unbutton my dress shirt and roll up the sleeves, and of course I keep my tie on. I never, a force of habit, I never take the tie off, but I do hang up my coat, and I go ahead and do some basic kind of like trying to, sterilize my hands, even though it's a cadaver.
Yeah.
And I'm putting on. So it's like I noticed that you had people out there as I'm stepping into kind of the suit, if you will, out there in camo with gas masks.
Yeah. Good eye. Good eye.
Yeah. So just concerns about after the previous incident?
Just a bit. Just a little bit of a precaution. We need to, first of all, we need to determine what actually killed this woman and what happened to the pathologist. And if it is a pathogen, then we know what happened to our officer. But we're going to need to know what we can do about it. That's why you're here.
Of course. I admire your dedication to safety on this matter. I finished getting ready.
Give me a read. What is it? Read other or whatever.
Read other. Read a person.
Yeah.
There it is.
There it is. He's a person.
Go
to it.
Success, you may ask. Okay. With complications.
Okay. So, yeah. What as you're suiting up and he's walking out, the point of observation really is how he's walking out and how he's carrying himself. What questions might you have about that?
You said how he's walking out and how he's carrying himself.
Yeah, right. So he's kind of there, and you start to put on your Tyvek's outfit and your stuff, and he's turned to walk away, and you have this moment to observe the situation as that happens.
Well, he didn't dress up with me.
No.
Like he didn't put on gear. So, so I kind of ask him. So you're not going to be? I'm presuming you're not going to be observing. You have other business to attend to.
Well, we have security cameras. I'll watch you from up here. It's really not my specialty. Quite honestly, this kind of stuff turns my stomach.
That's understandable. Will I have an assistant? I suppose.
You need
asking. Is there a medical? I don't need one.
There's a medical assistant down there. Her name's Kurtzwell. Rita, I think's her first name.
All right. And I guess my one question would be, out of character.
Okay.
Does he actually look shaken as he's walking away?
No.
Does he look like this is getting to him?
No. Plain and simple, no.
So no shaking confidence whatsoever. So I kind of just make note of it and just consider it to be interesting.
You see as he walks out of the room and kind of turns away from the direction that you would be headed, that he's reaching into his pocket, obviously, to grab a phone. And he kind of goes off and does whatever he does as you get dressed and, washed up and all taped up and that sort of thing. You're either doing knee surgery or dealing with pathogens or whatever, but you're trying to keep infection either in or out, whichever you want to do.
Make sure I put on a condom and everything.
Exactly. So you get suited, you make your way down. The autopsy room is like many are. It's like this one is, at least. As you step in, though, there are 2 soldiers in there. Both of them are armed with what appear to be semi-automatic weapons. One standing in one corner and the other. As you walk in, it's like they've expected you. They're not, like statuesque. They kind of react to you. The one nods.
Going in to examine the body. Thank you.
He opens there's like all this draped plastic in front of the door. You kind of are, kind of doing their best to create somewhat of a barrier. And they pull aside the plastic. You make your way in. Kurtzwell joins you. She is kind of a younger girl than you might have expected, although she's got a bit of a gruff voice. She's very severe, very professional in appearance. It's like she's seen a lot of stuff. You notice that she seems a little shaken.
So, you've been here longer than I have. So
I hope so. She laughs.
Tell me what you've seen before we go in there.
Yeah, so I was on vacation.
Oh, you just got back?
Well, no, I mean a couple days ago. But it was the craziest thing. This autopsy, this woman, all kinds of strange gibberish in the report. I don't know if you've seen it, but it was like it was not like nothing I've ever heard. Go to transcribe it. It was just craziness. But he just had some kind of breakdown. He mutilated the body, talking about on the tape some fluid. I mean, you'll see. There's really nothing to see there.
So none of this blackish, disappearing, reappearing fluid. His tape made no sense.
She crosses her arms and kind of looks at you. You are a doctor, right? I mean, does that sound sensible to you? He lost his mind.
It's just odd for someone without the history, but I suppose anything could happen. Well, hopefully we'll get to the bottom of this. Just take my lead and hand me the instruments I asked for, and
of course
we can.
Let's do this by the book, though. Okay.
Of course. We won't deviate from best practices.
So you enter this room, and as I've said before, the body is not as intact as you would expect it to be. Typically, beginning an autopsy, at least
he did cut off the head.
Exactly. So the head is there on the table, sort of up the top corner, not where it should be, just kind of slightly off to the side. It's obviously been cared for and cleaned up after whatever he did. You can see obvious signs of the bone saw removing the head. So all of that checks out. You kind of ground yourself in the moment. Tell me, what do you do?
I do want to start with the head.
Okay.
Because the eyes, there's something about them. I want to go ahead and pull back the eyelids and
so you go
see what lies within there.
Oriented, you've got your nitrite gloves on. You sort of turn the head and you kind of go to very carefully open the eye. I'm assuming you're using like a forceps or something to kind of carefully open the eyelid, provide the most view. As you open it, just before the forceps kind of lifts it, there's a bit of a rippling underneath it, like something moving. You peel it back, and there's a roach that runs out from underneath the eyelid, one of those little tiny German deals, and kind of runs down her cheek and down on the table.
I actually gasp at this because and this can't be that common. And I'm just like, oh.
She swats it. Sorry, doctor.
I suppose I didn't know what I was expecting to see. When I saw it move, it startled me slightly.
Let's have a keep it, since you called that out, Brent, let's have a keep it together roll, please.
There it is.
Nice. So you just sort of grit your teeth, and yeah, that's kind of gross, and you don't usually see, I mean, sometimes you do, right? You know, various levels of infestation occur if a body's found out somewhere and all that jazz, but you endure it. Roach runs off. What are you looking for? You see these gray, milky eyes looking back at you.
Sometimes, especially with my condition, I fancy that. As my mother always used to tell me, the eyes are the window to the soul. Sometimes I feel like I can gauge the suffering that someone experienced by looking into the eyes of a corpse. How bad was her death, or has it been too long to be able to tell? I stare into her eyes for what feels like an eternity as I try to take the measure of her suffering.
So you're there staring, and you're staring to the point where your eyes get a little fuzzy, and that harsh fluorescent light kind of starts to burn them, and that's in that moment, right, where you almost have little hallucinations if you do that. That's when you usually get your message. Typically, it's an impression. This time it's something different. Mildred's skin splits like paper. Not like scalpel cuts, but just peels back and opens. Her mouth stretches open, almost to the point of cracking the ligaments and such. Wider than humanly possible, and inside you see darkness, formlessness. You could almost hear garbled voices as you stare. What do you do?
Something compels me to reach out and see if I can find form in all that darkness.
You reach out, and there's something looking back, not with eyes, but with an empty recognition. Whatever is staring back at you knows you. It's the kind of exchange that you might have with an acquaintance walking across the street from one another. She was never dead, Doctor. She was reborn. Doctor, you hear. Kurtzwell, her voice is sharp. It snaps you back, and you find that you're cradling the head in your hands. What are you doing?
I must admit that my methodology may appear somewhat unorthodox.
What are you fucking gonna make out with it or something? What's wrong with you?
Please. Calm yourself.
Well, okay, let's get on with it then.
Part of my method.
Put the poor woman's head down and let's get back to protocol.
Of course. All right, and I'm assuming this is being audio recorded. It's like this is Dr. Hurst, assisted by
Rita Kurtzwell.
Linda Kurtzwell.
Rita Kurtzwell. She says kind of like Rita, especially sharp.
Rita Kurtzwell, continuing the autopsy of Mildred
Sellers. She nods as she points over to the chart, right? It's kind of on the metal table at the side. She's like, say it with me. Doc, are you okay? Do you want to take a break? I mean, I know this is probably, not your usual engagement.
I turn off the recorder. It's like, this suit it's a little stuffy, but not to worry, I'm compensating. I'll turn it back on. All right, so I am going to go ahead and begin checking the mouth for any detritus and the missing teeth addressed in the previous incomplete examination. I want to start with seeing the teeth, whether it was is it perimortem is before someone died and postmortem is after someone died. And I'm gonna try my best to document it as professionally and follow protocol from there. So seeing if there was teeth that were, for example, wrenched out of her mouth, signs of torture around the head and mouth area, anything like that.
So it's not necessarily your medical training as such that gives you the answer that you're looking for. It's more your extracurricular activities, which sometimes have proven that if someone bites down on something hard enough, they can actually cause their own teeth to rip loose from their gums. But it's only under very extreme circumstances that happens. And you're looking closely with your flashlight, and you're noticing no real sign of, there's obvious trauma as we described before, but there's none of this nonsense. But it's not until you kind of come out of the mouth, right? You've got your flashlight kind of in there, and you lean back, and you see that she has no sclera, and the gray has been replaced by almost an inky black. She's staring at you with those empty eyes.
This time around, I simply move to close the eyes in as natural a fashion as I can.
Let's roll to keep it together. Let's see. Ooh, success with complications. So, choose one of those. How are you going to play this? What is the doctor? How does the doctor react?
I am going to become obsessed as I recognize that there's something. A lot of my curiosity is left. The more you learn about a subject, the more predictable it becomes. Murders, cadavers, a crime scene. It's always been a beautiful thing to me, to a degree, but the mundanity of it all has started to sink in. This is something truly unique.
Yeah.
This is bordering on the impossible, finally the unexplainable. And so I am going to I'm going to hold out my hand and say, "Scalpel, please."
So Kurtzwell's been watching you closely, and you kind of glance up quickly to make sure you orient your hand as you hold it out, and she responds as she should, quickly, dutifully, but her eyes are on you. And as you glance back down at the body to make your cut with the scalpel, you notice that the eyes are back to that dead, hollow, gray, white color. There's something wrong here. You don't feel right. Your mouth tastes like copper. Tastes like unclean teeth. You don't feel well.
I was almost like disappointed that I don't get to experience the smells, because that's always the best part, is being able to take it all in, and found the suit stuffy. But now I almost am thankful for the suit, perhaps protecting me from this. This is not something I enjoy. It's not the normal rot, the coppery smell of blood. It's something that's truly foul.
Yeah.
So I kind of shake a little bit, and I reach out and close the eyes because I feel like they're looking at me.
Yeah.
I try to do it in as natural a fashion as I can, but my hands are shaking a little bit.
So Kurtzwell doesn't say anything, just more watches you and is there, kind of assisting. With your keep it together roll and that consequence logged away for me, you do in fact complete the autopsy. You confirm that the time of death that was stated is not possible, that this woman would have died, you'd guess, a day or two before that. Given all things, I won't get into the medical stuff. Tara will in the chat, though. Thank you for that. So this woman, at the time that this thing supposedly happened, and this tase killing, was dead.
I put that in my log, and I put the time of death. I even asked my assistant, "Is like, do you concur with my findings?"
She says, "Yeah, I do. So what we're talking about here is obviously some shitty police work, and that's about it. This woman died. They handled it bad. I don't know. I mean, all the labs came back clean. I mean, she was an old lady, so she had some issues with her blood and whatnot, but there's nothing here. No virus. I mean, the report supposedly said that she got up and jumped on this other cop. I mean, how fucked up is that? There's no way. Look at her."
Oh, it's hard to imagine. I mean, could there have been another party who was there and they became confused?
Look, I'm not a cop, okay? I don't know. But I'm here to tell you that even with her head on, old Mildred here isn't going to be any match for like some blogger kid and a rookie cop. That, by the way, is like an all-star athlete. Like top of her class, no fucking way.
No, not likely, of course.
That's
hard to imagine any kind of third-party involvement.
That's why those guys are here. There's something more going on here, man. I mean, I don't know you from shit, but I'm not okay with this.
Did you see anything odd other than the cockroach, of course, during the? And I'm presuming this is as we're cleaning up after.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you guys are sort of washing.
Did you note any other things other than the cockroach during that?
Well, I saw you do an examination of the eye. There was the roach that had apparently become lodged underneath the eyelid. I mean, that can happen in transport, I guess, but I mean, nothing unusual other than the fact that she had been beheaded. I mean, you saw the taser marks on what's left of her neck. It's an open and shut case. There's something really weird going on here.
Oh, I wouldn't be so sure. We really should get access to the actual crime scene. After all, there's definitely, as you said, more going on here than meets the eye.
Yeah. I requested access, actually, when I was working with Fitzpatrick, to have a look and see more. All I got is photos. That's about it. They wouldn't allow me access.
So at this point, Brent dropped off for a few minutes. We were worried he might have been swatted or something. Thankfully, it was just internet outage, and he was able to rejoin with his phone.
Yeah. And I think she sort of, obviously, dries her hands off the towel and throws it in the waste bin. And she's like, let's just get this report out. I need to get home to my family.
Of course. Nothing more important than family.
She looks at you with this sort of kind of quizzical look almost, but doesn't react. So after a time, you find yourself back upstairs in an office, sort of waiting to be visited by Agent Cole, who does in fact come in. He has yet another cup of coffee. He's just as put together as he was. He comes in, you're seated. He sits down in the spinny chair, and kind of turns it your way. Okay, so Cliff's Notes, I'm hearing that you confirmed the results and that this lady was dead before the event?
Well, quite definitive that she passed. Oh, roughly 24 hours prior to the incident.
How the fuck can that
Which
be
means
possible? So the cops are lying? Is that what this is?
Well, either they applied a taser to a dead body. And quickly, out of character, what did I determine was the cause of death? Was it the taser?
No. Well, no.
Was unable to determine.
No. So you're
specifically
yeah. So you age you age the wound of the taser wound, and the first is I mean, that could have killed her if she were in poor health for sure. But it wouldn't. It doesn't add up. That wound was fresher than some of the rest of her bodily condition. It's like some of the necrosis and things that you're seeing, and you would expect around the wound because there was a little bit of a prick there for some, but no, it was fresher.
So it sounds like what you're saying is that basically the taser happened after her death.
Okay, so in your professional opinion, then, what killed her? The rest of the story that, I mean, I guess I could have mentioned is that she was in there with her husband, Bernie, and he was found torn apart.
I see.
Paperwork's there if you want to see it.
Again, I meticulously and slowly go through the paperwork, making, like, pausing on the photos of the ripped apart man.
So
to really soak this in.
So there's a couple of things. The police report references a dog that might have been consuming the body of the husband. That was sort of the sense. The dog has gotten loose and has not been found, which is troubling in and of itself. It would have been more troubling if this were some kind of pathogen. Particularly if it was carried in the fluid, because the report suggests that the dog was covered in this sort of black stuff. The trouble is that this isn't just like predation of a hungry dog. This is, or whatever one would call it. Signs showed that a human was obviously eating the corpse, and some of Mildred's missing teeth were found there. DNA tests have confirmed that they were her teeth, lost in his flesh. The pictures are horrific, eaten down to the rib cage and the backbone with the entrails sort of moldering. That's the other thing that strikes you, Doctor, is the fact that just looking at the entrails as they are, all kind of dried out by aircon and the fan, because old people always run fans. He'd been there a while too.
So are we presuming that she murdered her husband and took her time eating him even as he started to rot? Did I examine her stomach contents?
I'm going to assume you must have. I mean, that is a standard. And you would have found a variety of things in there. Most of them at this point would need to be identified by more chemical means because they've been in there a bit, you know. You can't just look at them and go, oh, an ear. It's not quite that definitive. Your observation at the time, though, and in the moment, let's just kind of, you were so engrossed, right? But you're reading back over your own report and cross-referencing the two in this sort of montage moment. And yeah, you had a gut feeling about those stomach contents, and this just rang the bell. She was eating her husband.
So, is it possible that she was devouring her husband, went into some kind of septic shock from eating his foul meat, died, and then these officers panicked when they saw the scene?
I mean,
perhaps she had died sitting in a chair, and there was some kind of, I don't know, reaction from gases building up in her body, perhaps. There's a great deal of conjecture. In fact, the dog being covered in that black bile-like referenced ooze, if you will, strikes a chord with your dead coroner as well, and what he observed. So their report saying about the dog is quite telling. That now means that you have multiple people who have an account of seeing this black substance.
Maybe. There are definitely some corollary elements there. I'm wondering if it could have been leaked from a police report or something of the sort. We've tried to compartmentalize this as best as possible to avoid that kind of thing. I'm sure you can understand.
No, considering the sensitivity of this, I can understand why.
I'm going to play you an audio file. It might help. Probably going to get my ass in a sling from doing it, but he brings up his laptop, logs in a sort of secure website. Give me a quick observe the situation roll. It's going to be at -2, though, because he is moving fast and he's aware that you're watching him.
You care to roll for me?
Oh, shit. Yeah, I can roll for you, dude. Watch. This is where his rolls start to suck because I'm using the die roller. What did I say to roll? Observe the situation. Here we go.
And with a -2 modifier.
-2 it is. Roll. Here we go. All right. Ooh, failure. Okay, no. So you're there, and he pulls out his laptop, and you're just kind of sort of absently watching, kind of lost in your thoughts of how the logic of this all kind of flows. He logs into some utility. The screen flashes. There's a logo there, and you wish you could have seen it. Damn it, you missed it. So yeah, he goes through kind of file directory and ultimately gets to think of like SharePoint at work or something, right? And there's an audio file there. He turns the speakers up on his laptop and he hits play. And there's this moment of noise. There's police activity. Something is incredibly muffled. Basically, you're hearing the screams of what seems like a young police officer being very kind of commanding. There's some, motion and obvious tussling and things like that. But there's this extra voice. You hear Dawkins, gargling kind of thing, right? He was, I don't know if you watched a prior episode, but he was tangling with Mildred. And you hear this, you can hear a more distant voice, a younger male, maybe of Hispanic descent, a little bit of an accent, maybe you're not sure. Kind of a nice young voice. And then there's this third sound, which is this shrill, shrieking sound, like something out of a fucking Wes Craven movie. He hits pause. I can't listen to that anymore. So this is what Dawkins' camera picked up. You'll notice if you watch the actual video file of it, I mean, you can't see much. It's just smudged with that shit. So if Mildred was dead and they overreacted, and he leans in, obviously trying not to, what the fuck is that? That's what I need to know. And I need your help getting there.
I'll openly admit that that this defies explanation, but hopefully we can put the pieces together.
Yeah. So look, the survivor Dawkins. So we've got people trailing Sullivan and Phillips, and neither one of them is exhibited any kind of anything other than being super pissed off about not working and being under surveillance. This Dawkins guy, though, has got something going on. Is he contagious? Is this going to spread? Do we need to shut down the county? I need answers, Doc.
At this point, as far as I can tell, there's no known toxicity associated with the cadaver. However, the dog is going to be a good start for us. That, and of course, can always interview these officers, but I'd like access to the crime scene.
I'll see what I can do. Don't really know about the situation with Sullivan and Phillips. We'll see. They've not been exactly the most cooperative at this point. And quite honestly, my agency's trying to stay off the grid in this situation. As far as they know, and as far as the press knows, Sullivan has been put on temporary leave as they investigate with pay until we conclude what's gone on here. I would love to close this case with her behind bars and this behind us. And he takes a really long look at you, Doc. Like, expectant kind of thing. Because everything that we're saying so far, audio be damned. I mean, this isn't the kind of thing that you can take to court, you know?
Oh, I agree. I mean, this would be quite the debacle, especially if the press got a hold of it. I think if worst came to worst, there's a number of ways we could wrap this all up in a nice little bow.
Yeah, what are you thinking?
But police officers panicked, misidentified a scene.
Okay.
If they can be reasoned with to go along with it, then perhaps it could limit the exposure around it in general.
Okay.
Provided there is not an actual pathogen out there that's going to cause more issues.
Well, what do you need from me, Doc, to prove that? I've got a living victim. You want to go look at him? I can arrange that.
It's a perfect start, and then eventually access to the crime scene, and we can arrange to make things work out satisfactory. Yeah,
that sounds good. So, how about you finalize your report? Make sure you update it to reflect our conversation, and then we'll drive you over.
All right. So I will go ahead and amend my unfinished report to reflect exactly as we discussed.
Okay, you do. So the clinical bits, you just kind of roll back. I mean, typically in a report like that, you wouldn't have any opinion either way about how it happened or who did what, but you definitely make it clear that, yeah, it was a taser death. This old woman died because of a taser attack. All the rest of the data goes away. Give me a act under pressure, just to make sure you cover your tracks well.
How do I do?
Oh shit! I keep thinking that you're like, haha. Here it goes. Let's see. Ooh, success with complications. So chat, I'm going to ask you guys, since you stuck around this long, what is the complications? The doc has just updated his pathology report to basically omit the truth. What does he fail to cover? What's the complication? So I'll watch for that in the chat. We'll see what happens later. Okay, cool. So what are we doing?
So I believe we have a survivor. And they promised me to have a bit of an opportunity. So are they going to drive me there, or is that person on site?
Yeah, so they absolutely can drive you there. No, that person is not on site. That person is actually in Providence.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah. It's not that far. Rhode Island's not a big place.
That's true.
So it's not like a block away, but it's, call it a half-hour drive. I'm in the wrong window here. So you make your way another drive. This time it's different. It's now kind of creeping toward night, I would assume, after a full, long day of work. You're barely awake, riding in the back of this car and thinking about those fucking eyes and that sound, and something about the two of them seems so perfectly right for each other. Butler Hospital is not far. It is a proper mental home or mental health institution. The agent rides with you. It doesn't make much small talk. As you approach, you notice one thing is definitely different. This place is on lockdown. You pull up. There are military vehicles. I'm going to ask you to observe this situation. Let's see how you do. I hate rolling for you. I feel bad for you.
No, it's all good.
Failure. See, this is what happens when I roll dice. My fellow players would agree. You don't notice much about the military vehicles, but it's hard to miss the fact that they're there, and that the people in the perimeter are in fact all dressed in protective equipment. The property of the hospital is pretty sizable, and so the hospital's set back a ways, and the military barricade, as it were, doesn't start until closer to the building. You pull up, the window goes down. You see this guy. He's in a beret. Kind of steps up. He says something to the effect of, "Agent Cole, how are you?" "Just fine. We need to visit the subject." It's like, "Come on through." He basically pulls through. He's kind of noting who's in the car and that sort of thing. You pull up to the asylum. What do you do?
So you said that it looks like there's a fairly decent militarized presence here. How much are we talking about? Are we talking about Humvees and semi-auto weapons? Or are we talking about some bigger hardware going on here?
Great question. Definitely Hummers kind of thing. There's not like tanks or anything crazy. There's a couple of larger trucks, which would indicate that they probably brought in a good number of people. They have set barricades. There's a normal guard gate there, right? That's kind of where they're posted up. There's no facility guard to be seen, so they've obviously relieved him of his duty, and they've erected sort of tank-style barricades there. Looks like it's under martial law.
So, just curious, Agent Cole, what did they do with the other patients here? They still on lockdown?
They're here on lockdown, yeah.
I see.
We weren't sure if it's safe to move them. I've given my CO the information you shared about the pathogen, so maybe we relax our security once word filters up, but for now we're on lockdown.
All right. So are there access to up-to-date medical reports on the patient, his current state? Is he sedated, strapped to a cot, for example?
Yeah, let me get you in touch with Dr. Carney. He's the attending physician. So you kind of make your way in. It is a proper hospital, right? It's a good sized facility, and I don't want to overwhelm you with a map, but I'm going to pop one up here, and you can't see it, so it doesn't matter. This is for the chat. It's just to prove that I did it. There's a map, guys. Put your ribbon there. Let's see what you can see. Ooh, wow. Talk about a spoiler alert, the way that thing popped up in the window there. Zoom way out here. Okay, so you make your way in sort of to the main office. There's a big reception area there. There are a couple of military types. Generally speaking, there is no door that is unguarded. Any major intersection, hallway, there's guards around. They regard you as you would expect gas mask people to regard you. Protective equipment clad soldiers. But you make your way in, and ultimately into a clean area through the plastic flaps and various protocols. And it's basically a barrier between the rest of the facility and the outside. And in fact, there is a doctor there. It's a kind of, you call it mid-50s, pretty athletic African-American man. He looks worn the fuck out. He's sitting down at a round table, slumped over what would appear to be a cup of tea. He's got a cell phone in front of him. He looks up.
Dr. Carney, I presume?
Yeah. I got the heads up that you were coming. Good to meet you. He stands up. He doesn't shake your hand. All things considered, he smiles.
Of course. Pleasure to meet you all, considering the circumstances. I'm sure it must have been difficult for you. I was going to try to engage your patient in about as much of a forensic interview as is possible, considering the circumstances.
Interview? Man, he's catatonic. You're not interviewing anybody. He's lost. You'll see. You can absolutely have a peek. Gonna have to suit you up, though. They're under lockdown protocols here.
I understand. Prior to him falling into a state of catatonia, did he say anything? I was made to understand that he became animalistic, uncontrolled, violent.
That's an understatement. When he was first brought in, I guess it was a day or so after this reported incident occurred, some sort of trauma. His symptoms at the time, he was very quiet. They cleaned him up, but as soon as he kind of came through the doors, he became erratic. It was as if it's like he woke up. He's attacking orderlies, spouting gibberish of all sorts. About the only thing that he said that made sense, which really doesn't make sense to me since he doesn't have kids, is he keeps repeating the word kiddo.
Kiddo.
Yeah. It's like he's fixated on some old memory. Physical symptoms, craziest thing. Sclera of his eyes is jet black as it could be. I've never seen anything like it. At least not outside of Hollywood.
Does it change from black back to normal, almost seeming to shift before your very eyes?
That is consistent with our observations, yeah. There's no rhyme or reason for it, though. It's like, I don't know, it's like a rash almost, maybe, some kind of reaction.
I'm kind of out of character, giving myself away a little bit to Cole, but since I'm a little obsessed with it, I'm going to just say very interestingly, I observed a similar phenomenon on a cadaver this very day.
On a cadaver.
But
and you're saying that this is no pathogen, but similar symptoms like that on a cadaver? A cadaver related to this incident, he says. And he's kind of obviously getting a little interested now.
Yeah, no, I just... The woman from the incident, the elderly woman.
I see.
The sclera of her eyes turned black. And then seemingly went back to being gray, milky, as what you would expect from a cadaver. I thought it was maybe a trick of the eyes or some sort of priming related to, well, an incident with the previous coroner who examined the body, mentioning a black substance. But well,
Yeah, the Fitzpatrick and Warwick, right? I read about that. Yeah. Unfortunate incident, really. So what we've got to figure out here, Doctor, is if this is somehow related, then this is some kind of pathogen that we don't have the ability to detect, then we should call it. We can't risk. I have an entire hospital full of very ill people that are going to wind up infected with this shit. So you tell me what we got to do to figure it out.
What can I roll an investigation to maybe consider something around the pathogen, it possibly being a pathogen, but it doesn't seem like it has any notable stuff around that. So I suppose I just pause for a moment and say, to be frank with you, there's currently no evidence of any sort of toxicity that was present in the cadaver at all.
The blood tests that we got back from the subject are all clean. Toxicology clean. He is 100% clean as a whistle. Triglycerides are a little high. That's about it.
Well, if that's the case, I mean, our best choice is just to continue this current level of precautions. Putting out a notification about a pathogen that we are not even certain actually is a pathogen would just alarm the entire state.
Yeah.
Practically.
Yeah, it would. So what kind of test would you recommend? We need to find a way to isolate this. I mean, it's nothing, no clear results in his blood.
So I'm going to go ahead and look at his medical chart, and you'll notice that I believe I have a bit of an edge on my character sheet. That's towards something like this. Actually, I can still.
You don't remember what it is. I'm gonna be like, no, there's nothing there. Let's take a look at Mr. Hurst. I can't show it to the chat, but yeah. So you have an advantage of crime scene investigator. You have an advantage. Is that the one you're talking about?
No, that might be the only one. It's just the actual crime scene.
Yeah, you have another one. I would just want to point out that the context of your investigation would be slightly different than another character who has a similar skill. You have battlefield medicine and you have escape artist. Do you want to escape? Oh. Do you want to escape?
Escape.
I'm out. See ya.
I'm out of here.
Just turn the internet off.
I'm going to sit down and review his charts, see what tests, and see if I could see any gaps in this doctor's. I'll extend him every courtesy, of course. Yeah. But if I manage to catch something that he attempted to like run, but he or he neglected to run out of stress or something like that, okay, I might just bring it up.
So we're
as another option.
We're going to do an observe the situation for that, and your stability's okay. So I'm going to leave you with no penalties. And yeah, so you have a success with that's it, right? Yeah, success with complications. So you get to ask one question about the situation. What are you trying to figure out? Did he miss anything? Is that your question essentially?
Yes. But specifically, is there I do want to make a specificity on this. Okay. A specificity. Is there a invasive or potentially painful procedure that he missed? For example, like a spinal tap or something like that, something that would be considered to be quite unpleasant for your average person.
Yeah, they have it is as thorough as you could get. His work is meticulous. There's been enough time that has passed now since the incident to get most of those tests back. There are a couple that are pending, but you don't think it's necessarily something that would decide either way what's going on here.
I suppose I'm looking for a procedure that could potentially cause him enough pain to jog him out of the catatonia.
I see. Sure. Yeah, I mean, a spinal tap's always a good one. You could cast doubt on the results, but you need to successfully influence another to get him on board.
Mm-hmm. So I noticed here that this was performed when he was initially admitted. It's a possibility that the actual contagion had not fully set in. Have you thought about repeating this one? As I point.
Nice. Success with complications. So he
And your work is incredible, Doctor. I especially under such conditions.
Well, thank you very much. We can repeat it if you feel like it would be a good idea, but I mean, I don't know how much more you're going to glean from this test. Do you feel like it'll help?
Absolutely. And considering, as you put it, he's not going to be very talkative if he's in a catatonic state. And so I would hate to imagine that we traveled all the way here for nothing. Please allow me to perform the procedure. You should get some rest. See to the other patients, of course.
All right.
It's like I'll manage him.
Fair enough. Let's us connect in the morning. I'm just going to go and sleep in the lounge, get a couple hours or, maybe even a half hour. Sounds good. I'll check back with you. So he shows you around, and essentially sort of toward the center of the building, there are some secure padded cells. There are a number of them, and he kind of leads you down, right, this hallway. Again, there are soldiers kind of here and there in this hallway with their PPI on. He takes you basically down the end of this fairly long and drab, kind of clinical-looking hallway with that shitty green color that's like stereotypically present in all mental places.
Right.
And to a door, and there actually is a soldier kind of sitting at the corner of the cell outside, right? There's just a door with a very thick window, and there's an electronic lock, right, with a proximity card. You can see in the window if you wish.
Of course.
Yeah.
Always observe before entering. So I'm going to look through the window and see what we have inside. Are the lights on?
The lights in the cell are always on. But although they are dimmed quite a lot because it's late at night at this point. By the time you get there, it's like really late. He says, basically, as you step up to the window, he's like, I've seen enough of that mug. I'll be in the lounge if you need me. Okay.
Of course. Thank you.
He nods, walks off, looking very weary. You turn and look into this cell, expecting to see what you've seen so many times before, right? Like a patient curled up on the bed, maybe rocking back and forth, repeating a phrase or something, maybe sleeping. Standing right in the middle of the room and staring right out that window at you is a man, early 50s maybe. He's dressed in pajamas, basically, loose-fitting, stock hospital clothes, arms slack at his sides. He's a little overweight. The most troubling thing, which you can't see, but I'm going to show the chat. Now they know stuff you don't know, Brent.
Perfect.
Yeah. Let me move this out of my way so I can do it. Is Bill Dawkins, and I'm on the wrong map. Damn it. Hang on. Good Lord. Hospital level 1. Sorry it's taking so long, guys. I'm getting a little lag myself now. There we go. Bring him over here so he's nice and big. There we go. Bill Dawkins. He's about 5'9", overweight. Beard that maybe has seen better days. But he's standing there staring right out that window at you, slack-jawed, his eyes black to the point where they almost look like pits. But you get the feeling that he's staring at you.
I've seen these psych cells before.
Yeah.
So I know that you can whisper, you can talk through the cracks in the door, and typically a patient can hear you fairly well. So I do break eye contact with him as I move my mouth close to the crack, and I just say, "What are you seeing? What do you see?"
So your words kind of hang there for a second, Doctor, and you look up into the window to find that Dawkins is no longer in the middle of the room. He is now maybe an inch away from the door. He's looking out the window at you with those dead black eyes and that sad face. But his mouth is smiling. This huge frozen grin. Keep it together. I gotta roll.
Yeah.
Good God.
I know, right? Good golly, Miss Molly.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm gonna this is cool. I'm gonna roll bad, and that way you'll shit your pants or something. Come on, load it up. Nice. What is the complication? So you become angry. You're going to become sad. You're going to become scared. You become guilt-ridden. You become obsessed. What's the complication?
No, I'll just double down. I'm even more intrigued by the darkness. I don't even know what level. So it's like what, obsession level 2?
Yeah.
Which I don't know.
Yes. So you're there, staring at him, and I mean you're almost face to face, right? Do you say anything to him as he's so close you could almost smell him through the little tiny vents that are in the plexiglass there?
Ooh, well, I do like smells. So.
Ooh, yeah, you do.
Does he smell of death?
He smells like Mildred.
And I almost like just kind of inhale like and. That hospital smell, or maybe that smell of body odor of the neglected or people with poor hygiene, it is something I'm very used to. Not nearly as comforting as the morgue, but I am interested in like, what do I get from him and his cell?
So you lean in and smell. And again, that's your thing, right? That smell and that slight twinge of death. But here's the thing, it smells like your first one. It's a familiar smell. It's not from here. It's coming from, well, something that knows you. It's the stink of beginning to rot flesh, just on the edge of putrefaction, filth. It's addicting. As you're standing there, taking it in, you hear this beep and a click. Getting your attention, you look down next to you and you realize that the electronic lock, which had a red light on it, is now green. As the door swings open, what do you do?
I'm so entranced that I open the door.
You open the door. So it goes green, it starts to kind of crack, and you put your hand on it and open it the rest of the way, revealing Sergeant Dawkins there. What do you do?
So as I look at him, I just say, and I think I have my PPE and stuff on.
Yep.
And I just stare at him through my mask and I just say, "You know me, but I don't know you."
It lumbers forward. He lumbers forward and kind of just, these measured steps. The soldiers on the other side of you obviously are like, what in the actual hell? And you see them kind of closing in, their weapons at the ready as you say, I know you, or you know me, I don't know you. And he leans forward and simply says, you will. And you start to see this black drizzle go down his chin and dripping onto his own feet, right? He's barefoot. It's kind of falling at his feet. He's leaning forward. What do you do?
I fall back into my basic medical skills. It's been a while because I work with the dead, but I lay him out so he doesn't choke. I try to stabilize him somehow.
You try to knock him down. He's standing up, right? And
I thought you said he's collapsing.
He says, no, he says you will, and he's drooling on himself and walking toward you. Mm-hmm. He's drooling this black shit out.
No. All right. Well, at this point, realizing finally that I'm in potential danger, I'm going to back away and call for help.
So
help me.
Yes. So you help me, and you're gonna try to act under pressure here.
Right. Maybe I can use that escape thing.
There you go. Let's use your that's a good call. That's a really good call, Brent. So let's use your escape advantage, which is right here. And I think I hit this button to roll it. There we go. Nice. Okay, chat, I need you more than ever. So he succeeds with complications. So you may choose to stay and forget you tried to escape, or you can escape at a cost, such as leaving something important behind, taking something traceable to you, or in this moment, maybe something else. Let's see what the chat says. What do you think? You going to stay and tough it out and forget about it, or are you going to escape with complications?
I think... Or are we waiting on the chat for a second?
Yeah, I love it. So Andy's quick as always. He says you basically succeed, but you do so because this soldier is coming in, obviously planning to restrain the patient who should not be out. Can't tell anything about what he's thinking, but he's obviously responding. You instinctively grab him by the shoulder and just kind of shove him into this thing, which literally, as it moves forward, launches onto him, pushing him back across the hallway, and these are wide hospital hallways, into a cart of medicine and whatever else. And you see this sudden spurt of this black stuff come out of its mouth as if it was intended for you. And there's all this chaos going on. What do you do in this moment?
So the soldier's covered in the black goo, correct?
Yep. Well, the soldier is pressed against the wall. He's got his weapon, but this thing is on him. He's not just covered in the black goo. Basically, picture if someone jumped right on you and was grappling you and vomited all over you. But it's this black stuff, right? So that's kind of what's going on, and there's a melee happening. The other soldier that's running up is going to respond to that as well.
All right. So what I'm going to do is in a moment of clarity, realize that there's something about this dark goo that is precious in some way. There's a medicine cart there.
Yep.
The way I figure it is, I can basically bend down, and if it's copious amounts of black goo, I'm going to go ahead and scrape it into a bottle.
Okay.
Using my gloved hands or whatever, and try to slip it somewhere onto my suit.
Okay.
So that I can look at it personally later.
I'm with you. So I think I'm gonna take that as your intention. We're going to do a keep it together because I think in this moment you're fight or flight. Fight is do what you said. Flight is get the fuck out of there. So let's roll. Success again with complications. So you hold it together. However, I'm gonna hold this one until later. I think I know what your consequence is. So you proceed to grab a syringe, fresh sharp. This, you're practiced with this, so it's just like quick, pull it off with your mouth and suck up some of that to create a specimen. It's not until a couple seconds later that you realize you've torn your suit.
I kind of just cluck my tongue briefly, in consternation.
Oh, fair point. Not in your mouth. Sorry, PPE is in the way. You think about it. Thanks, Tara. Script
that is a fair point.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, so I flick it off with of course this makes perfect sense. I flicked off the thing with my glove finger.
There you go.
And in the process ripped part of my glove.
Excellent.
As I was doing it.
So you have your specimen. In the moments that it takes you to do that, there is a gargling sound as basically the soldier is grappled. He loses his balance and falls to the side, right off the cart, out on the ground. The attacker is on top of him, just literally vomiting more fluid than should be able to come out of someone. And then you hear it right over your head, Doctor. You hear it as this gun shot goes off, basically blowing this guy's brains out all over the wall. Dawkins dies.
Fuck.
Are you all right, Doctor?
I'm fine.
Doctor.
I kind of sleight of hand the syringe a little bit so it's out of view.
Yeah, let's yeah, I like that. Is it there? Yeah, let's do that. Oh yeah, totally. This is not the first time you've had to do this because that's one of your primary tools that you use, right?
Absolutely.
So you slide that up. This body's there. What do you do?
Okay. We should collect samples. My suit's compromised. I'm going to need a new one. Is he fine? I look over at the soldier who's getting vomited on.
So he's there. He's choking. He's sitting up at this point, and he's kind of just, his rifle is to the side. His buddy's checking on him, obviously. I mean, the corpse pretty much fell on him. It was a close shot. So he's sitting up, and it's kind of all over his PPE, right? So he's not getting vomited. But you notice it's where they were grappling, the face shield is cracked. And there's a bit of this black shit inside the mask. A little flecks of it here and there on him. You don't know.
I'm going to tell the untainted soldier, and it's like I didn't get any on me, but however, he's going to have to be quarantined.
So within brief moments, Doctor, there's a flood of soldiers in this hallway. Obviously, flashlights and things that not flashlights, like what the hell am I even saying? They basically hoard you, and you will be confined, as will the other soldier.
I have no other choice but to go along with it. I don't even complain, although I do very, as calmly as I can, repeat. It's like none of it got on me.
You're saying this. You're like, none of it got on me. I swear, none of it got on me. And like, holy shit, I can't be stuck here. I got stuff going on at home. Yeah, all this sort of stuff. You're after some time allowed to get out of the equipment. The soiled equipment, right? You're put in a secure room where you're by yourself. You do have your phone and a couple of other odds and ends that were kind of sealed inside of your suit. Your phone rings.
I check who's calling.
Unknown caller.
I sigh. Dr. Hurst.
Well, hello, Doctor. How you doing?
Do I recognize the voice?
No. It's country. Polite.
Listen, I'm not in the mood to talk to a solicitor.
What I'm selling, well, you're gonna want to buy it soon enough. I'm really sorry about your house.
My house?
Yeah. Be a real shame if all those little treasures of yours burned down.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I don't take threats lightly to my person or my belongings. And I have very powerful friends. So I don't know who you are.
My friend, I have one very powerful friend, and that is our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So don't threaten me. I'm calling to make peace with you. Calling to give you a chance. Because like you said, we know you. And that is where we're going to end the stream, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to end it right here.